It might look like it, but this diver is not swimming in soda water. This area of the ocean is called Soda Springs. But instead of soda water, it is actually a place where an interesting phenomenon is clearly visible. It is called Submarine Groundwater Discharge. Submarine Groundwater Discharge, or SGD in short, is the transfer of terrestrial groundwater towards marine basins. It also refers to the groundwater that enters and exits from and to the ocean. This phenomenon occurs along many coastlines around the world. But how does submarine groundwater discharge work? The water flows from a coastal aquifer through the sediment to seawater. This coastal aquifer receives water from both terrestrial groundwater and seawater, which mixes there. This mixing zone is also called the subterranean estuary, and within this zone, many chemical reactions can occur that modify the composition of the water. This is why seawater which moves through the subterranean estuary has a very different composition than before. In this process, nutrients are added to the water. These nutrients originate from the land and the sediments which the seawater passes through. This is why submarine springs resulting from submarine groundwater discharge are very nutrient-rich and affect the local environment substantially. Submarine springs are sometimes visibly detectable, as in the case of soda springs. The CO2 bubbles there suggest output of submarine products and are volcanic gases that join in the sediments with submarine groundwater discharge. If the submarine springs are not so clearly visible, submarine groundwater discharge can be detected with thermal infrared sensors, electrical conductivity, and acoustic seafloor mapping. Besides that, there are multiple ways to map submarine groundwater discharge. An important method is using so-called tracers, isotopes of various atoms, most commonly radon. These tracers can be measured at the terrestrial aquifers and the submarine springs, after which a route and amount can be estimated. Submarine groundwater discharge has only become part of academic interest since the late 1990s. Prior to this, it was believed not to be of great importance for the water and nutrient cycle, and it was hard to research. However, more recent research has shown that submarine groundwater discharge actually contributes a significant amount to the coastal water and nutrient cycle. As it turns out, submarine groundwater discharge plays a crucial role in maintaining coastal habitats. Firstly, it provides coastal regions with nitrogen and phosphorus, which sustains phytoplankton and other primary producers, which are at the base of the ocean's food chain. Due to this effect on biodiversity, it also strengthens the local economy, for example by increasing the yield of fisheries. Secondly, it supplies freshwater and nutrients to nearshore areas, creating favorable conditions for various organisms, including seagrasses, mangroves, and coral reefs. These habitats provide critical nursery grounds, feeding areas, and shelter for a wide range of marine species, contributing to the overall biodiversity and ecological connectivity of coastal ecosystems. Thirdly, submarine groundwater discharge can influence the quality of coastal waters. As groundwater flows through the subsurface, it undergoes natural filtration processes, which can remove pollutants before they reach the ocean. It can help prevent the accumulation of excess nutrients, sediments, and pollutants in coastal waters, thereby improving water clarity and maintaining healthy water conditions for marine organisms and human activities. Lastly, submarine groundwater discharge also protects terrestrial aquifers from saline groundwater coming into the system. Many people's water and food supply is dependent on terrestrial aquifers, and if this gets polluted with saline water, it can have severe effects. However, submarine groundwater discharge can also have negative effects in certain cases. When the terrestrial groundwater gets polluted, this in turn also pollutes the oceans. For example, a nitrogen excess due to intensive agriculture can lead to an algae bloom that reduces the entire coast's biodiversity. Therefore, it is important that more research gets done on this topic, so we can even better understand how these mechanisms work. Submarine groundwater discharge has important effects on its surroundings, which can be both positive and negative. It addresses additional reasons to prevent nutrient leaching in terrestrial ecosystems, but also provides unique research opportunities for conditions in which the local flora and fauna can thrive. All in all, it should not be overlooked when doing research on groundwater and coastal ecosystems.